Go ahead, Jeff.
Greg, did you guys hope and or try to get Steven going early in this game? It looked like you guys went to him inside to get him going.
Yeah, in the paint. We typically do. But yeah, honestly, his confidence. I mean, I've talked about it several times through the year. Just I tell him all the time. I think I've seen all the bigs come through here in the last 20 years, and I think he could be right there with those guys that are on the Mount Rushmore, so to speak, of stretch bigs that we've had here in the last 2 decades. So, and I think getting him to believe that has been the biggest thing. So tonight's a big step in that. And he played how I envisioned that he could play, and the three's a part of it. It helps. And I just liked how he went after balls with 2 hands too. He rebounded with 2 hands, like we've been working on. So it just that's the neat thing about this tournament. Even though we obviously we understand where our goals were, it's another opportunity for us to get experience, play better, get better, and that was a good example of that with him.
Right here.
Greg, when you say Steve needs to be more aggressive, does that extend to the three-point line? Have you seen him pass up sometimes throughout the year?
There's been some times where he has, but I think it really starts, like you mentioned, in the paint at the free throw line. That's really where, whenever a player is struggling a little bit with perimeter shooting, it's one of the first things we talk about is get yourself fouled, get to the free throw line, get there, get some confidence going, see the ball go in. And I think once he saw 1 or 2 threes go in, and he banked the one in, it's just, hey, the harder you play, the luckier you get. So they, like I said, he was just, he has a chance to be a really, really good player here. He's got years left, so that's the exciting part. He knows it, and he's really humble with his approach. You can't live at the three-point line. I mean, I don't want him floating out there all the time because the kid's got great footwork. He's really worked on his jump hooks, and a 7-footer that can pass like that, and the feel he has for the game, it's a heck of a weapon.
Todd up front.
Like you mentioned Sunday night that you didn't think motivation was going to be a problem. Did that prove to be true when you got them back in practice? And did you have to do any kind of pushing to get ready for this kind of opportunity?
No, I think I started really with that kind of planting the seeds on Thursday when we got back, not knowing yet, but knowing we probably were going to be on the outside looking in just with how everything was looking. Obviously things were going to really fall our way nationally for that to happen, for us to slide in, but I wanted them to quickly turn the page that, hey, we've had plenty of opportunities. There's nobody, we put ourselves in that position. Now we have another opportunity, and just how teams have walked in maybe when they get the disappointment of not making the NCAA to be in the NIT, there's a hangover effect, and you're going to play really good teams. And I said many times that the best teams through the course of the year aren't in the NCAA tournament, not all 68, because you get 1 or 2 upsets in a 1-game playoff in a conference tournament. And Bradley's an NCAA tournament team. I mean, Drake beat him in the finals. Bradley wins the regular season. Drake beats him in St. Louis in the championship game, and Drake's a 12 seed. So I felt this was like playing a 12 seed, and I think Sharif and Joe's experience of being on the other side, of being on conference champions that didn't make it into the NCAA tournament because they didn't win their conference tournament. I leaned on them a little bit on, what they saw with the opponents they played, because obviously they were at Wright State and South Dakota State. And South Dakota State was 27-3 and didn't get in because they didn't win their conference tournament. So just talking with them about the emotional, I guess, downer, so to speak, that they saw in the teams that they played, and we really fought to make sure that didn't happen with us.
2 more questions for Coach Jeff and this gentleman right up front.
Greg, obviously Tyler came back in, but it looked like he fell awkwardly and then he was on the bike. I'm assuming he's okay because he came back and played. Can you fill us in what happened there?
Yeah, no, I think he just fell on his knee. It wasn't his ankle, so. So it was just, he banged his knee on, I think he hit somebody and then he fell on it, so just a matter of keeping it loose, but he's fine.
Coach, I want to ask, in a preparation standpoint, you have less than 48 hours to know who you're going to play. What's it like from a coach's perspective, just preparing in that short time frame, and then also in that game planning phase? Was it a point of emphasis to get Bradley in foul trouble in the paint early on?
Well, I'll ask the second part of your question or answer the second part. It's always an emphasis of ours to draw fouls, get in the paint, get to the free throw line, play inside out. In terms of the preparation, you're not going to reinvent the wheel this time of year. Obviously it's quick. I had a hunch we were going to get Bradley just because of how the NIT sets it up. Typically the first round is geographically based. So I thought that might be one of the 3 or 4 that we kind of talked about. And obviously, following that league, because geographically we're close, you know those teams pretty well and see them periodically through the year. And knowing whoever we're going to play, we're going to have a good team coming in here. But yeah, so it's a crash course. But again, it's basketball. We're not performing open heart surgery or anything like that here. It's our 5 against their 5. Here's what they're going to do well. Here's what they relied on. And you try to do a lot of comparisons. Whether it's individually comparing players to who we played against this year, teams in terms of style, those type of things. So it helps maybe give our players a mental and visual picture before we actually even step on the floor or just watch film. Or obviously the best picture is when you line up and tip it up tonight.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Coach.